Welcome back, folks. It's Whims of the Creator again. I'm JB, and I'm still joined by Gadget
Woo!
and Volk.
Oh yeah.
And we're on the final part of the Pikmin set review. This has like 9 cards in it total. We'll see how quickly we get
Blue
through
at
these.
least.
Hopefully we only take like 45 minutes to get through this.
7 hours later. Alright.
What do you mean?
Let's start off with, because this one already has some very interesting things to talk about. Let's talk about Louis here. This is Louis
Very interesting character.
from Hot Chocolate Freight. If all your characters are distant planet, this card gets 2k. At the end of this card's attack, if the gate is in your climax area and, it's a trigger fever, no card facing this character or the character facing it is reversed, you may declare a color. If you do, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 cards of that color, reveal them to your opponent, choose one of them to put into your hand, choose one to put in your stock, so you've gotten rid of both revealed cards by that point, and put the rest in your waiting room.
This is like the Tay combo in Bang Dream, or like, what is it, the combo from 10 Commandments?
Droll and Gloxinia.
Yeah. On reverse, it's just buffed version of that. But, it's buffed and it's not buffed. Normally, this card would be on reverse, look at top 4, like, choose 2, like, level 1 or higher cards, add 1 to hand, put 1 to, add up to 1 to hand, put up to 1 to stock, so you can potentially get both a hand and a stock, or just a hand, or just a stock, depending on what you need. Instead, this card looks at colors instead of saying it's level 1 or higher. You just have to hit the color that you declared. And it's also, like maybe said, it's a fever, so you don't have to reverse the opponent. You can either reverse them or have it be an open lane. So I don't like this card because it only sits at 55, which makes it getting the reverse a lot harder. Having said that, fever is the effect that's balanced and is seen a lot at 5,500, so I think power-wise it's fine.
I mean, I think the stat line I took it from was Pecora.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
The problem is that getting the reverse of this is a lot harder. I guess it's not really true. All the Pikmin level 1s have like global 500, so if you have 2 of them on board,
Yeah.
this is swinging at 6.5, 7.5 with Climax. It's kind of doable. I mean, I love these profiles. I play Tay and Bang Dream. The thing is, Tay can add level 1 or higher cards, so you can get all the cool events that are in Bang Dream. You can get Bridge of Emotion, Buns for Luck, the Starry event. Same idea here, except that it gets on color, so it can also hit on events. I mentioned that in the last video. All the level 1 Pikmin combos, with the exception of Charlie, actually get you events. So this gets you events, and the Brittany can also get you events. So a lot of event support in this set. I don't know. The question I have is, because, okay, something I talked about offline was, like, what is, like, the deck in the set? What is the contextually, like, the deck? Like, you could play 8 standby and have your Brittany combo. You could play into this as a legitimate strategy. But, like, is playing this a more effective strategy than just playing an empty standby, or, like, trying to play into a Rock Pikmin, or trying to play into the Bulbmin? Like, I know we haven't seen any other blue cards. My one concern with this immediately is, how does it fit into the rest of the set and the strategy? I think Brittany is way better than this, so I'm going to give this, like, I like this combo, don't get me wrong, I like it, but I think in the context of the set, it has to be right here.
I think it comes down maybe to trigger lineups, because if you want to run a gate trigger, like, this is probably the easier call, because you could go like this into standby for the Alamar,
This into President.
this into President also, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Pan's
true.
choice.
Pan's choice.
The thing that makes me question mark this, because I checked Pekora, and so her combo is 500, and she gives herself 1,000 to make herself, so she's like 45 base, sits at that. I think because of the way the conditions like this work, it might be that this card could sit at like 4k base if this is a 500 combo. I don't know if it is, but on the other hand, like, if that Tay from Bang Dream is like a 4,500 ish and does, or like something like that.
I will look it up right now so that you can have it.
Just as a thing, the Droll and Gloxinia combo that second effect is technically based on, they sit at cross turn 6k with full board.
Yeah,
because they gain 500 for every other character.
Yeah,
and they're
Tay is during your turn. If you have another character, it's plus 1,500, so it's also 6k, but it's 6k on turn.
6k on turn and 4,500 off.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card.
But I think
card could be This card gets at 6k cross turn.
But also,
Why
I
do you change
believe I do believe Droll and Gloxinia is like Ten Commandment characters for their power plus,
Yeah.
rather than whatever the country from Seven Deadly Sins is.
Yeah,
It's
that makes sense.
Britannia.
Yeah.
Yeah, traits don't really like it as far as deck building goes. It matters, but for like actual like bushy math, they kind of don't give a shit at all. Like if this card
Yeah.
said if all of your
cross
characters
turn.
are chocolate, right? Like it would still
Mhm.
give the same amount. I feel like it probably can't sit like according to bushy math. On the other hand, it doesn't need to. This card is fine the way it is, and
Mm.
you could maybe like make a wiggle room argument that there's some excuse somewhere in the vagaries of this, because like trigger fever, you see it in a couple of places. You see it on all kinds of things. The Toka, my beloved, that does that. That functions off of it, but it's encore step and like checks 5. Also, Pekora gives power, but this is a different sort of combo because it's closer to like I don't know, like there's the Anya, that's like check 4 that gets you one card from hand, one card stock. That's actually where I got the text from, was the Anya, because I was like, wait, how do I do this again? Help.
Is that the level 0 on you that does it?
No, this is a level 2 combo.
Oh, level 2. Okay.
It's like I
Yeah,
forget
I know what you're
exactly.
talking about.
Yeah.
It's the green on you.
So basically, if trigger fever is equivalent to like one stock, like one stock as like a condition, then it's absolutely on budget to sit like 4k, so 6k total. If it's not quite the same for one reason or another, then the math checks out a little bit differently and things get a little weird. But I think it's a little bigger. But yeah, I think the primary purpose of this is I want to play gate so that I can trigger that to set up my standbys. I think that's probably why you'd play this over the either of your other pluses, or so that you could have it because like you said, you could set up for president and then like a little bit more consistency on that because we don't have go get the choice. We're not Dal, so
right.
that's probably right. But yeah,
I would argue that you don't even need to do that because your finisher on play checks 3 adds anything. Like that might be enough dig to get you there.
It could,
but
it could easily.
Do each your own.
Yeah. How much insurance do you want, and what are you willing to do to get it?
I don't know, but you also have a pretty playable climax swap here that you can get. So
Puffy Blowhog.
True.
The other reason is just it generates stock and can get you an event to hand.
True.
So decent.
Yes, that is true. It is another stock.
Is good for that. Yeah.
Right. Are we good on the next card?
Let's talk about this elf.
Yeah. Okay. So Alf, Kopai, Engineer. I'm gonna make sure I read this correctly. Okay. See, I thought this was an early play, but I guess it's not. All right, so it gets 500 power for every ship event in your memory. That counts the yellow ship event, the SS Drake in green, the dolphin ship in red. So there's 3 different ships that it checks on. So it can basically cap out at what is that? 14k if you have all 12 in memory. Pretty funny. So after this card is placed on stage from hand until the end of your opponent's next turn, all your events in hand get -1 cost. Insane. I completely forgot it did that. And then when that probably should be an auto, not a cont, but whatever.
Oh yeah, I went back and forth
When
on
this
that.
card is placed on stage from your hand, you get to choose an event and you're waiting your minute turn it to hand. Honestly, when I was reading this morning, I was like, this card's bad. But now that I've seen everything else, like, not only does this card deserve the double R slot, it might just be an S, honestly. I'm thinking in the context of Mushoku. Even if there was a card that I could play at level 3 that would just, like, get me the pendant, maybe not at level 3. I guess what's funny about this, there are a lot of implications of this. It gets you any event, which means it gets you another ship event, which can be a hand filter a card to get this 500 power. And you can punt the ship to memory. It can get you the New Day event. If you don't have that, you can play that. And that enables your Yellow Pikmin Soul Rush. It lets you play your events without fulfilling color requirements once you have that in there. So if you don't have it already, that can help you play certain events. You can get your Whistle Rally backup if you want that. I think if I'm not mistaken, the most important card this gets you is the Final Day event. Am I wrong?
Final Day and maybe the SS Drake.
Okay, so the Final Day. Because like I'm seeing, okay, this is a card that you can't early play. So you hard play this at level 3. On play, you get a copy of the Final Day event. It sits big cross turn. It lets you get the ships that are like the 1/1 ships. It lets you play those effectively for free. Just to punt them to memory so you can make him sit bigger, and then they also make your final day events even stronger
Yep.
because you're milling more cards off of them.
The other thing that I kind of just thought about after rereading that -1 cost stacked.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So playing 2 of this is all you really need to do, and then pretty much all of your events are free except for a new day, and that would only cost 1.
You still have to pay the 1 cost for the whistle event, but yeah, effectively, yeah, they're all free.
But that's basically, play 2 of this and then last minute just dump a bunch of ships into your memory.
Yeah. Is that enough to get to 10 ships over the course of the game, though? I'm just trying to think about this, right? If this was a Shizu, because this basically reads like Shizu without the heal and the hand encore, just a big guy. Would you play Shizu just to punt a bunch of anti-magic masks or like Fruits of Wisdom to your memory for free? And Slime you 100% would. If you're playing the flying Pikmin to get your memory built up early, you could 100% play to a memory strategy with this deck.
Yeah, just compressed to hell, yeah.
It's just that this card comes out at level 3. And like, I think it deserves to come out at level 3. I think that's correct. But is it good enough? You get to play the final day event for, you know what, hold on. What did I rate the final day? I gave this an A. You know what? I think I gotta give this an A. It's like an A or an A minus. Because even if you can play one of it, your end of day events are free, and you're gonna deal your opponent 1 to 2 uncancelable damage with those. If you like, I'm thinking again, context of the set, right? How are we doing this? You're going president with this. You're finding a way to get this. You're using your presidents. You're gonna mocha yourself twice. You're gonna generate 2 free stock off of that, assuming you have the end of day event in your hand. And then this is like your third lane. Yeah. So you're going to attack with this, assuming your opponent doesn't kill you, which they shouldn't. Then you have, in theory, dropped the final day event in 3 lanes on your opponent's turn. Like, it's the same line you would take with the man at legs, right? Or instead of stock swapping them and then burning 2 after your attacks, you're just doing your kind of slow mocha play, and then you're going to hit them with the event 3 times. This is kind of like your third lane there. And, like, in that chance that you'd rather have this, like, heal or do something else, but the fact that this gets you one of those 3 final day events, I think is good enough. What did I rate Man at Legs? Man at Legs I said was A+, right? A+, yeah. This is probably an A-. I think the Man at Legs is better with the president, but this is a pretty good payoff for the ship thing.
Very neat card. I don't know about the budget, but like, I think it.
You know what?
8K is probably fine.
Frick. This is, I mean, it's a whole strategy you have to play too. Also, I forgot about the next card as well. You know what? I think I gotta, but it's it's this. I think it's this. Only because I think that the ship strategy is too restrictive. The reason you're playing this is for the end of day event, and the reason you're playing that is, I don't think it's a bad option. It's just probably less good than, like, sorry, I'm really stuck on just president into Man at Legs as one of those top ends you can do, you know?
Yeah.
For like no cost. I feel like that's just like, it's like we were talking about earlier. Man at Legs with 2 of the president is just easier. It's easy thinking. You don't have to commit the deck slots to playing the ships. You get to play all the easy green cards. Again, I don't think this card's bad. I just don't think it gets played. You know what I mean?
Specifically in the ship deck, probably, but.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's played in the ship deck. I just don't know if like that's the deck. The reason to play that deck is to play the final day, but I don't. You might have an easier time winning with the president with Man at Legs, for all I know. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. This would be something if you would find out with if you could get like mass testing. But yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you traded that power condition for an early play condition, it would probably be way better.
Oh God.
It would, but then it wouldn't. But then it wouldn't live cross turn, and the way it's worded now, it needs to be on board to get that continuous cost reduction effect to make your final day events cost 0.
So at 8K, it can beat over most level 1s, if not all of them.
Yeah, it can also be reversed.
Probably level 2s.
It can still be reversed.
Yeah, it can be reversed on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, like that's fine. As long as it's like a guy on your board. And also you could also have 2 president and a Man at Legs in front and have this guy in your back row.
Oh yeah.
Like there's nothing that says this has to be center stage.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah, why? I'm very curious. Wait, did y'all just... Was this not part of the...
I was just reacting to Gadget saying that shit. I was like, yeah, that's a funny thing.
Yeah, you can play this
Concept
on top of
back
it. It's
row.
fine. You play it.
Yeah, you could just play this and get the event and then have it. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was shitting on that president pretty hard, but you know what? There are some pretty strong implications, as it turns out.
Yeah, no, he did good. Mr. President, get down.
Yeah. This set is crap.
All right, let's see what other wackadoodle things we have in these
Can I
last
read
few
this
cards.
one? Oh no, I already read the Alf.
Nah, you know what, Gadget? You go ahead and read this one. This is your favorite card.
It's not my favorite card, but I like it a lot.
Definitely is your favorite card.
He's living ice, and as we know, ice is nice. All right, I've been teasing this card a lot. It's not that crazy, but it is a very important card. If your opponent has level 3 or higher character, it gets -1 level in hand, so it can early play potentially. When it's placed on stage from hand, you may choose one of your opponent's characters, and it gets the following effects at the end of your opponent's next turn. That character cannot become reversed and does not stand during the next stand phase and cannot move. Effectively, you freeze the character in place. If it's an Adachi, it means it can't die, which means that it can't early play bomb this. If your opponent tries to lay a trap for you, you can just swing over it and it won't become reversed, it'll just sit there. It also means the character can't move around, so you can mess with things. You can choose a character in their backstage that they stand by and just say, haha, you can't move. Very handy card, as we know. Hololive's playing that effect. Most important line of text. On attack, pay 2, mill the bottom 3 cards of your opponent's deck, burn them for X, where X is the amount of climaxes they mill. The reason this is important is that there are tons of cards, as we've discussed earlier, that can summon Pikmin. This is like the primary card that you would summon off of the Olimar level 3, because so you pop him back, you do his effect to burn them X, and then you, with the standby effect, you would stand by this, and then you would pay 2 to stand it, and then you could swing with your other 2 lanes, and then swing with this as your 3rd lane, pay 2 to do the Icy Tail effect. Very good line that you can take and stand by. And hey, if you just happen to have it in your hand, you can also just hard play it if they play an early play. It doesn't like trade with the early play, it's only a 9k, but you can also just stun the early play and have it sit there so it can't mess with you on your next turn. It's kind of like having a president. It's not quite as good, but I think just because of the synergy this has with Olimar, I'm going to give this the A. I'm probably overvaluing it, but the other thing too about this card is a Pikmin, and we all know how much support the Pikmin get in this set. Because it's blue, it also just incidentally can pay 2, rest itself to heal you if you have the New Day event in memory. There's other stuff I'm forgetting. You can give this a soul with the yellow Pikmin if you need to. I'm sure there's other things I'm missing with this, but like it's
The fiery red Pikmin can spawn this if you're at level 3.
that is
Or
also
does it
true.
cost
Yeah, you
0?
can spawn it. If you have no board, yeah, you have to have absolutely no board. But again, as we discussed earlier, you can achieve that by playing the armored cannon beetle and just wiping both players' boards, and then you can just use that to red Pikmin.
Yeah, no, fiery red is not cost 0 only,
God.
so it can spawn this.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, there are many implications. Again, I don't think this card's that insane, but the fact that it synergizes with so many other things in the set makes it like just good enough.
Can I tell you what's actually
I don't
insane
know.
about this card, real fast?
Huh.
The Icy Tail is cost like Noel's Icy Tail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Noel's Icy Tail is if you see a climax, deal 1. This is deal X for the same cost.
Yeah.
Just feel like that's important to note.
Is pitch 2 similar cost to pay 2?
Very different.
Okay.
Pitch 2 is
At this point,
considered
it's not that
significantly
much
more
different,
expensive.
but yeah.
Because the Toru Icy Tail in Dragon Maid is pitch 2 bottom 4 for X damage.
Okay. So maybe it's
Fatal Lives is also pitched over bottom 4.
So like, I feel like because it's a 9k base, this is the part where I then immediately tell you that it's still probably fine, because
Noel was also a president.
Yeah. So the thing is that like if your opponent has a level 3 character, -1 level in hand, that's like a 500 early play condition.
Yep.
Versus like 400, which is like a 1k. This middle effect I'm treating as your 1k level 3 effect basically. And then this bottom one could be like a 1k instead of like Noel version is like 500. So yeah, it's just that you pay 500 extra to turn it from deal 1 to deal X, and it probably checks out. Like, you know, I'm not a scientist. So yeah, it's probably fine budget-wise, and it does some very fun shit gameplay-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And lore accurate, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ice. It's
ice
got
is
all of
nice.
the ice effects.
I'm just kind of checking over the cards to make sure I didn't really miss anything. It being a Pikmin character means you can sack it off the Snaggart to
Heal, right?
Heal to
Octostock. I
stock,
mean, you
yeah.
can do that with any blue
Yeah.
Pikmin.
So you play this for
But yeah,
free.
just the common fact that if you empty field the fiery Pikmin and mill 2, you can spawn 2 of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is kind of cool. I mean, it's more than kind of cool. Like, if I wasn't
Cool.
more tired, I'd probably be more angry about that. But at this point, like, we're balls deep in this already.
It's kind of cool. It's ice
Where,
cool.
like, there was another card here that I was thinking about. Oh yeah, you can because this is a Pikmin, you can also use the Whistle Rally to bounce it back to hand if they front attack it. If you
Yeah.
manage to early play this, there are ways that you can save this with like your counters and stuff. So like, it's so cool that like this and the Glow Pikmin are just like incidentally good early plays that have other good effects that are aggressive. But also being Pikmin means you can play into like literally all the cards that support them. So
Mhm.
you know, it's just really fun. I think I don't know. I'm probably overhyping it, but I really like it a lot, and I think it's so funny that it just freezes them. But anyway, we can move on. I'll leave the ice guy now.
Let's move along.
Don't leave the ice guy.
He's an ice guy. Oh no, this thing. All right, I have real thoughts about this, but let's discuss it first.
Oh,
Alright.
this goes hard.
Level 1 Blue Olimar. Olimar Whistle Call. Auto. When a player uses an act ability, this card gets 1500 power and the following ability until end of turn. Auto. When this card attacks, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a Pikmin character, you may put it into your stock.
Oh, this only hits on Pikmin. Okay,
I
this is way better than I thought it was. Then
did
okay.
I interpret this correctly?
Technically, no, but I thought it was funny, so I just decided to say, you know what, that's fine.
Okay. Cause the current version, as written, is fucking insane. It also doesn't have a limit on times per turn.
Correct.
Okay, so that was intentional.
No.
Okay.
Originally, this effect was supposed to be like Mel from Hololive, the
Okay.
level 1 that just reveals
Yeah,
top
that's
to level
exactly
or
how I
higher.
read it. Yeah.
Okay.
But the way it's typed,
It's
this can gain 1500 on your opponent's turn if they use an act skill,
uh-huh.
which
And
is hilarious to me.
and also it stacks
Yes.
like crazy. So
That was not the intention. The intention was that it can gain it during
During
either
your
player's
own turn.
yeah, but
yeah,
imagine
okay.
this, right? You have a brainstorm and Empress Boldman in your back row.
Oh boy, here we go.
You sack a Pikmin, you brainstorm on your turn. You have a Boldman, you have 1 or 2 copies of this. Because you use 2 acts, it has 2 on attack reveal top stock Pikmin creatures.
You get 4 chances to check for a character and check for a Pikmin even.
Uh-huh. That's how you
wild,
generate
yeah.
stock. So yeah, obviously,
No, no.
my bad, lol.
Oh man.
But
Alright, here we go.
yeah, Mel is good for this set though. So even just Mel is fun.
So here's the thing, honest take here, serious take here. Mel is a card in Hololive that is like a B tier card. If you can fix for yellow and you're playing a yellow level 1 combo, it's a card that's totally fine to play because you know you're probably going to brainstorm every turn or use some act ability, right? But that card is also in Guilty Gear.
Oh, yeah.
And is one of the most low investment broken cards in the whole set. And the only reason it's not more broken is because you have to be fixing for green to play it, and green is one of the most penis colors to fix for in Guilty Gear, because it means you either have to level your Ram Brainstorm, level your Ram Finisher, or you have to be playing bad field pluses. You have to be playing the Zato coin flip, which I am, but like it's a bad card, let's be real. You have to be playing like the Melia Clock Swap or the Melia Runner, just cards that are kind of mid. Like there's better level zeros that you'd want to be playing in Guilty Gear, but you do it for the investment, right? I decided for science to put this card in my custom set just to see how it would impact it. The card was originally like a Ghislaine from Mushoku, where it would clock yourself to on reverse look at top 4 add a character, right?
Yeah.
And I changed it to that, and I made it so that it was experience gated. You needed a very specific level 3 in your experience to turn it on. And the Giovanna in Guilty Gear is also just a continuous card. It's turned on by having 2 or more cards in your memory, but once it's there, yeah, you can do it every turn.
And since it's 7k, or gets to 7k.
Yeah. So my point is, having this sort of like auto look at top if it's a character, put it to stock effect on a continuous, I think is absolutely broken. When I put that card in my custom set, I didn't play any other level 1s except for my combos. It was so stupid. I'm honestly thinking about cutting it. I put Cowgirl in my custom set, just an on play from hand double filter, and I had to cut that card too because it was too powerful. I say all that to say, I think Mel is fine. Use an act ability, you get the power. I think even the way that it's worded here, where it can be done cross turn, is also fine because this card only hits on Pikmin characters. It doesn't hit on Distant Planet. So I want to be clear. I think this card is fine, but I want this to be like a sort of like a soapbox for anybody who's trying to put this card in the custom set. Please be careful about how you're gonna get this condition to work. Because you can just so easily get so much stock, and once your stock is compressed, like you can be set for the whole game. Honestly.
True.
The other thing with this is that because it's a blue level 1, your blue is like a lot harder to fix for in this set. I think if this was green, to be fair, green does have a card that says on play ditch 1 stock 2, but like it's
Green has a
like,
few ways to make this happen, yeah.
yeah, if this was in any other color, it might be more playable. I think the fact that it's in blue makes it way more balanced. I think probably it's about here. I would say probably B plus. But if you're gonna put this card in your custom set, just be aware of that because it can spiral out of control really quickly, and I've seen it firsthand. As someone who's played Guilty Gear, it feels so gross when you can get double Giovanna and have them both hit. You just get like 5 stock a turn instead of 3, just for no investment, just playing the game.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to spiel, but that's just how I feel about these kind of cards. You got to be careful with these now. And yeah.
All right.
In this set, I think it's fine, honestly.
All right. Next Pikmin. He's holding the ball.
He got an apple.
Oh, right. The stem is covered by the thing. All right. This is Budding Blue Pikmin. It's an army that is a global 500 and a 500, or level assist rather. So 3k 1/1, Soul Trigger does all that. 500, 1k 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 is 35, so it should be 500 bigger?
With the soul. Well, I guess, yeah, most levels just have that soul mark on the top anyway.
Yeah, I counted that as a 1k. So base 1/1 without is 7k, and then you just 1k for Soul Trigger, 1k 500. So yeah, it could be slightly bigger. Not that you care, because
Yeah. It's not going to the front, but
yeah.
I was
wait,
I wanted
no,
to go
hold
back
on.
and check and
No,
make
I'm
sure I
wrong.
gave the.
My bad. Nope. Reread, reset, rewind. This is not trait restricted. That matters. So, it's actually 3k. So 3k, 4k, 4.5, 5.5. It should be 500. No, it should be 5.5. It should actually be 1,500. Wildly different answers. Still off on budget. But yeah, assists are insane on how they're budgeted. Like a trait restriction on them cuts the cost by 1/3. Insane.
This card already has a lot of text on it. It's got the whole army thing. It's got global 5 and it's got a level assist on it. Very cool card. This card also can gain pay to rest self to heal if you have the end of day event in your memory.
Sure can.
Which I think is bonkers because like Pekora already kind of does that. It's got the pay to heal and then it's like a frontal assist, right? This is just like that with more text on it. I think that's really funny.
Yeah, it's simultaneously it has more text, but you need like extra work to get there.
Yeah,
which is about.
I mean, I think if you're playing a level assist, if you're playing a back row card, and you're in blue, I think this card's like fine. But like the problem is the fucking Empress is gonna like overrule anything you're trying to do. And if I'm not mistaken, that card also has global 5 on it.
The Empress?
Oh no, it doesn't.
Wow.
It just gives your beast the on reverse thing.
Yeah.
I guess this is like one of your back row cards you can play if you're playing regular Pikmin, right?
Yeah.
All right.
This combo is more with the other blue stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better.
Let's see what some of the other blue stuff is.
All right. I get to read me. Hooray, it me.
It
Purple.
it purple.
Yeah. All right. So while this card's on stage, it gains a red, so it counts as either red or blue for the purposes of the
Mm-hmm.
what is it? The Olimar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and the New Day.
Yes.
So it
It's
either
kinda handy.
rests to heal or
Ooh.
rests to give power.
Ooh, yeah.
That's actually really good.
Nice.
Okay. I forgot about that. That's good because the only other thing this card does is it is a bottom deck Adachi.
Yep.
Which is good that this set has one. Also, really cool that that event can just have this incidentally be like you could have this card just be a card that just sits in your backstage and lets you like rest, give power or whatever plus whatever blah blah blah. And then you can just stick it out there when your opponent has an early play out and you can just get them with it. Good flavor. We know the purple Pikmin do like the highest damage, right, of any Pikmin.
They are worth 10 regular.
Yeah. So it's good at killing big things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, if you need to play this, I think having the incidental benefit of having the extra color can synergize with certain things. Sure, I think that gets it the plus.
Simple color math.
Yep. It's kind of whatever, but you know, you know if you need to play it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a flavor success.
Yeah.
Hooray.
The only thing being that it actually gets to be 500 power bigger because it doesn't do anything else. There is the there's a Bang Dream card that's this
Hold on,
and a
is that
top
actually
deck check.
true?
Yeah.
I thought bottom deck Adachis could be were costed differently from other Adachis.
So they are, but here's the my proof of evidence. There's a Bang Dream Countdown Collection card. The My Daydreams Mashiro. 3500 1/1 Soul Trigger. When it's placed on the stage from your hand, look at the top card of your deck, put it on the top or bottom of your deck, which we've established is 500, and it's a bottom deck bomb for EP. So yeah, it could be 4K. Or it could be that card. Either or. Doesn't particularly matter. Yeah. It's a bottom deck bomb that has this extra little points of synergy. Which is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it's a rare.
Yes.
Yep.
Honestly, this probably with the way Bushiroad's been doing their cards, this could probably be a common. Honestly,
If this was a card like this was a rare in Grisaya. Yeah. So it could definitely...
I think when I did it, I looked at the Lukua Dachi.
Yeah.
Dragon Maid.
I think it's uncommon. Yeah. I mean, they've printed this profile at Rare before. Adventure Time has a stock Adachi that's literally just a vanilla stock Adachi. It's 4,500 power and it's a rare.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
The fact that a lot of the time I feel like it's just like if they didn't have anything else that they were thinking about putting in the set, so they just they were already fixed to do whatever. The fact that this is two colors
but they
might be the
they
thing.
printed a free runner in Adventure Time in blue, free runner that also has on play reveal top if it's a character add to hand then ditch one. Like that card could have been a rare for sure.
Yeah.
But whatever. English Weiss is always weird with how they rarity things. Like,
so's JP too, honestly.
you know what? That's not even a rant I want to go on. Let's just fucking move on to the next.
Next.
Yeah. Let's just behold the next Pikmin.
Blue Pikmin.
Right. He's wavy.
I guess I'll do this one. It is an army card, like all the other zeros. Auto, at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may move this card to an open position of your center stage. So it is just a free runner. It is a free runner because it is the only one that can run through water.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that. You would give this a C plus or a B minus. Normally, I would give this a straight C plus because of the synergy with like everything else it does. And if you have the event, you can make this again a pay 2 rest heal. This is the card that you get off the yellow Pikmin. Yeah, I think this is the card that you get off the yellow Pikmin for sure. It can cover 2 lanes if you're doing it that way. I like runners a lot. The set doesn't have a lot of plusing zeros. It's got the Olimar that you can play as an Aqua Ricky. It has this basically. There might be another one I'm forgetting, but I think because this is one of the few cards that can actually hard plus 2 at 0, I'm gonna give it the B minus. I think in the context of the set. If you're not playing blue, you might not play it. But if you're just trying to build a kind of generic deck, it's not a bad card to throw in, and you can play as many copies of it as you want. So, you know what else actually is notable is this card can scale into level 1 if you're playing the red guy, because you're gonna have global 5 on your reds, and then your event is gonna give your reds rest self to give what power per level? I might be talking out my ass here.
A little bit.
Power per character on stage, I think.
So I guess it's not that good. I thought this card could scale into level 1 pretty well, but it doesn't really. It's just kind of there for level 0.
Yep.
But there are enough global 5s that you can keep this at 2500 or 3k pretty consistently. You get that brainstorm that has a frontal 500 assist. I'm sure there's another global 5 in here that we missed, but
At level 0?
there are ways that you can make this cover 2500 power pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah, the one issue is that it wouldn't actually be that because free center runner is a 1k effect, so this is actually sitting at 1500 in bushy math.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because center, like, the other types of runner are 500, but they have
You're right.
conditions on.
Why can't the armory effect just be free? These guys aren't doing anything. They're literally just dinguses.
Because the ability to fill your deck with any name, it has a cost to it.
I guess so.
The alternative is like, God, there are some other cards that they've done this.
Card needs to be 2k for it to be good, though. Like, if it's not 2k, then you know what? Here.
So
if it's not 2k, then it's bad. It's just a straight C because at least it can plus you.
What you what you would do then is you'd probably just give it a condition. You'd give it a power condition.
I don't know.
You put it back. You you sit at 1500 base, like any kind of power condition you want. 1500 if all of your characters are Pikmin trait. You could set it at 2500 at that point.
I don't know.
2500 free army runner.
It's fine. I'm just gonna be depressed about it, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. It's fine. We'll maybe these last two cards will break the depression. Look at
I know the last one will for sure.
Okay,
100%
that's good.
Do it.
In the meantime, oh right, nope.
This during what is this? Olimar and Louis. During your turn, this card gets 1000 power for each of your other disciplined characters. That's on point. Pay 1 when it's placed on stage from hand. You may pay the cost if you do choose 2 cost 0 large Pikmin characters. Cost 0. So this gets you any of the level 0s, and it gets you the red guy.
Yeah.
Super
the
spicy
guy. The red and yellow level 1s.
Oh yeah, yellow guy too.
Yeah, you get the.
Pay 1 plus 2, pretty good. Only gets you dinguses, but it's not that big a deal. If you're trying to soul rush, getting the yellow one's pretty good for implications. And the red one, as we know, is a level 5, plus you can rest in the pump power. Honestly, I think this card's kind of mid unless you have the event, but...
You could also just spawn 2 of the 0 reds to hand filter twice.
No, that is also true, and then you can hand filter twice.
Uh-huh.
You also got to remember the yellow level 1 is also a global 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It shouldn't sit this high at base because it's a 2/1, and it has 2 effects, so it already has broken the math. So I think it's probably sitting at like 7k base, assuming that pay 1 to spawn 2 cost 0s is accurate. I think probably Bushiroad would make you pay 1 pitch 1 and still sit as a 500 effect. So this card is probably sitting like 6k, getting up to 10k if you have a full board, plus assists, which is still all right considering that it is pay 2 to get 3 guys. So yeah,
is the during your turn part of that power condition anything, or is that just standard?
So the during your turn turns that from a 2k effect to a 1k effect. So it gets you, that's why I'm saying that like it would be 7k if that bottom effect was like 1. So actually it probably is, I think it's probably actually like a 6.5. I don't know. The fact that it's so cheap to just get the guys.
I think 7k sounds right.
I know, right? Like that's the thing, right? Like 7k sounds right, but Bushi wouldn't cost this effect like this unless it was like there's other like shit at bay, right? Like, and because it's so low cost, that means the effect has to cost more. So it can't really sit 7k if it's just pay 1 to grab the 2 guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we also have like,
pay one ditch 1 probably.
Yeah, like Ramrus exists and it is 1 for 1 guy and it goes away. So yeah. Also, wait, yeah, hold on. No, the fucking like a Rene is like pitch 1 to get a cost 0, like 1 cost 0 guy. So yeah, if it's pay 1 pit, that's a 1k effect. Or no, it's a 1500. Yeah. Anyway, very fun card, very fun implications. It probably can't exist like this in Bushimath. In this set, it's probably exactly fine the way it is.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna re-rate it. I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna say that only because I don't think there's a deck that you play this in. I think if you're looking for options at level 2, if you're in blue, you're playing your Ice Pikmin early play. I don't think you're trying to play this card. And if you're in any other color, you're gonna try to be doing the Empress with the Bulbman shit. And I guess in theory this could get you 2 free guys you could trade into Bulbman, but I don't know why you'd do that if you're playing green. You could just play Baldy Longlegs or whatever his name was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. It's a beast stick, but we've already established there's no way this is gonna stay at a 12k on turn. Like you have to make it like what's her name, Murin, and be like a 5/5 base that goes up to like 11, 10, 5 or something. I don't really care either way personally, but yeah, the math doesn't quite check out for sure.
Mhm.
Volk, would you like to read this absolute disaster of a card for us?
Alf, 3/2 blue.
Alf! You gotta
Alf.
say it like Xander Mobus, like the Smash announcer. You gotta be like, Alf! Like that. Oh boy.
Olimar!
Memory continuous effect. If there are 5 or more events in your memory with ship in its card name, this card gets -1 level in hand. So early play for memory condition. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may put the top card of your clock in the waiting room so it heals. And then climax combo with mission for survival. If your climax area or is in your climax area, choose one of the following effects: deal 1 damage, or pay 2, pitch 1, and declare a number that is equal to or less than the number of ships in your memory and deal that much damage.
So call me insane. This card could sit at 10k base and be on budget.
That's wrong.
I'll tell you why. So, 5 or more events in your memory with ship in its card name. I know that that's a fairly easy condition to get in the deck that's built for, where you're just spamming events, right? We have other cards that have these kind of memory conditions, and they're not nearly as restrictive. So, like,
I mean,
is this?
listen,
Yeah.
this could be a 9/5 potentially.
Yeah.
Ain't no way this is 10k. Ain't no way. You're high if you think it's 10k.
Oh wait, shit. Hold on, brain. It
This
has the
is
1k effect, the
literally
combo, and the memory. You're right. Yeah, no.
this is literally the Toru finisher from Dragon Maid, but you get to early play it. Ain't no way this is a one. Ain't no way it's 10k. It's at least 9/5. If not, it's correctly statted.
Okay.
To be
Yeah,
fair, though,
okay.
the Toru Kambu can declare any number.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
I
her.
agree with
This
you.
is restricted.
That is true.
This also doesn't require you to
Assuming
pitch
you're
a
early
character,
playing
though.
this, you can declare a number 1 to 5. Yes, that is
Yeah.
true.
So the combo actually kind of cashes it for itself on the cost. So yeah, we're just gonna call it good. The thing, because it doesn't have to pitch a character and instead trades that for having a limit. The thing is that limit is also like totally within bounds for what you would be wanting to pick anyway. And wait, also no, hold on. She needs at least
doesn't
one other
pitch a card.
character. That's the other thing. Is that
Okay, whatever.
needs another
Fake
character.
condition, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Fake condition.
Exactly. That's the thing. These fake conditions are how this math happens. So
Yeah,
if you have to argue that this limit is strong enough to both make it so you can pitch events and climaxes, which is relevant because it's a gate in an event focused deck that's super relevant for your pitch options, and
Oh, yeah, she
to
is
remove the
great
character requirement. Alternatively, it's a 1k cost, you bump the cost up on the power to make that happen. But if Toru's already a 9/5, that means that this
a
wouldn't
10K.
sit at
Toru's a 10k. This is a 9k because of early plays, is what I'm saying.
it's a 9k because it early plays, and maybe it has to pay some power on the combo. That's fine. Now we have the math.
Yeah.
There we go. We solved it.
You could rewrite this card so that it has all that stuff, but yeah, as you're right, as it reads now, it's probably too strong. All right, I need to. I'm about to explode here. Seriously, this is a common. Why is this a common?
Probably the
This
last
is a-
card I
this is
made,
at
and I
least-
just didn't change it.
This is at least a double. Okay, fine, but like, this is at least a double R. This card is arguably better than this other Alf level 3 we saw earlier with the ship combinations and stuff. You know. Also, why does your ship Alf come out at level 3 when the freaking combo can early play. Like, what? That's not synergistic.
Synergy. No, motherfucker.
I mean, like, this card is amazing. This card actually gives you a reason to actually play into the ship. This might not be a triple S card. Maybe it's like a 1S card. But, like, this card is really good. Part of the reason everybody hates Dragon Maid that has played it is like, oh god, I wish the set was better, is because the only finisher the set has is Lukoa. Like, if you could do Toru and have it be impactful and have it early enough that it actually mattered, like, you would do that. Not even mentioning the fact that this custom set has the snitch bug to get you the stock to actually effectively do this early. Like,
Yeah.
and moreover, it has Roxy Pendant. Like, it has a level of free zero cost event that can just pund itself to memory to search your deck for any card. Like,
So as we've established, after level 2, color doesn't really matter, but
Yeah.
there is no blue ship,
I
and
don't
the
care.
other ships are one of each other color. So this is a
I'm
4-color deck.
playing Brittany at level 1. I'm punting as many of these stupid Roxy Pendant Dolphin ships to memory as I can, and then with the remaining like color I have, I'm gonna try to, when I hit level 2, I'm either playing the New Day event or I'm playing the Drake ship, and that's my 5th memory card, and now I can early play this. And I have the what's this book called? I have the Olimar to set color at level 0 and level 1 if I need to. Like this, so like again, I'm not trying to be super critical here, but this is the kind of stuff that I should say again, right? You made this card like very recently. This was a recent addition to the set. It probably hasn't been tested yet, right? But this is the kind of stuff that like you gotta think about the whole context of your set. We spent 4.5 hours reviewing all these cards, and then you drop this bombshell on us at the end. Like, yes, this card is absolutely an amazing payoff for the ship strategy, 100%. Up until now, the payoff was cool. You can play the president with Alf, and then drop fucking 3 of the end of like what is it, final day event? Yeah, and then just mill your opponent a whole bunch. Why would you ever do that when you could just do this and then just go, all right, I got 5 ships. I can burn you for 1 to 5 for pay to ditch one. Burn you for 3. Oh, you canceled? All right, cool. I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna burn you for 5 this time because you canceled the last one. Like, that's really cool. That's the reason you play Toru, and then you just get to do that at level 2 for no cost. Like, forget even doing the burn X. You get to just burn 1 on attack at level 2. I'm probably making this out to be better than it is. It's probably not triple S, but like, I see Dragon Maid, which I know is a good finisher, and you can early play it with the relevant condition. I'm there. I'm in. Like, you sold me. But also, like, they would never do this. They would never do this. Why would they do this?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
It doesn't.
God.
It
Like-
doesn't sit as a comment,
Like, there,
but
there, there would be a way to early play this, sure, but you'd have to have like a 2-1 level assist that like taps itself and pays a cost, like the Lukoa thing does, or like the Fubuki changer in Hololive, right? Like 5 or more cards in memory is just
5 or more ships.
yeah, ships, whatever. It's 5 or more ships. You have Roxy in your set, dude. Like, it is not hard to get 5 cards in memory, 5 ships in memory. That's my rant. I love this card. I think it's crazy. It's a real reason to play the ship strategy. It's something that does more than just like, okay, play the presidents and then play the other guy and hope that you have 3 of the event, you know. But again, this feels like a card that doesn't belong in this set. This feels like a card that wasn't tested well, wasn't balanced well, or maybe this is a set 2 card. Like if you're doing a version 2 of this set, like maybe this set is themed around the beasts and the Olimar finisher. Maybe your set 2, you play to this and something else, right? That's kind of how I'm feeling here. As it is, like, I don't know. It's just great. It's a great card. It's a stupid card, frankly. Yeah, how do we fix Dragon Maid? Let's just play Toru at level 2 instead of level 3, you know. That's probably fine.
I would like to put forth this has been play tested.
Has it really?
Yes. Against you, actually.
No.
Mm-hmm.
When?
Back when I first made the set. This was part of the first wave of cards that I made.
I thought you said
It was
this
the
a new
last
though.
card of the first set. No, the only new card that I made was the Snagret. The rest were minor changes to cards.
Holy shit.
This
Mike,
one has not changed from the first one.
How have
Yeah.
I never seen this before? I don't remember
Because
playing
the
into
deck
this.
was inconsistent and I couldn't get it out. You
Yeah.
realize
That's
you have to play
insane.
a 4-color deck, find the ships in the first place. You have to play Olimar in general just to play the Dolphin, on top of the fact that you have to play the other 2 ships
Oh,
that are all different colors.
Wait. Do you though?
yeah, you do.
You can't
The
just go
dolphin ship,
like.
you do.
You can't
You
just
could
go
go
like.
red-green, but then you'd still have to be playing blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do play 3-color. You don't have to go 4-color
You,
though.
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah.
And 3-color decks are
You
perfectly
like I
reasonable.
said, it would be red, green, blue. You'd play Brittany at level 1 because she gets you the ships you need. You'd play like 2 of
Or
the
Louis for
SS
the
Drakes.
simpler one.
No, because Brittany also gets you. I don't know. Just playing standby lets you play into it more. Is what I'm thinking. You know, like it gets you like. I
I
think
mean,
it
by
gets you
that
more payoff.
logic, you wouldn't need the early play condition for the memory thing.
Well, yeah, you're preserving 2 stock if you can get this out on a level 2 turn, which means
Yeah.
that it's easier to have that resource for your level 3 kill turn when you actually pay out the stock.
And you want to be in green for the other support cards anyway. You want to be in green for the glow Pikmin and for the man at legs. I don't know. It's weird. I think 8 pants as a strategy is just like there's not a lot to play to.
Especially because there's no there's not a very solid climax filtering card, you know.
Yeah, there's no payoff for playing 8 pants.
Except, wait, no, what the fuck am I talking about? No, because you have red Pikmin. What do
Yeah,
you mean?
but-
That just filters everything.
Right, but then you have to be getting them every single turn.
Or just
This is
when
this
you
again.
need
This
to
is the
filter
complexity
extra
of this set,
climaxes
right?
and stuff.
So
Yeah.
you want to have 5 ships in memory to play this early. The most effective way to do that is to play the dolphin ship, but you need to have Olimars to play the dolphin ship. So you're playing 4 dolphin ship, 4 Olimar Ricky, 4 this Alf, 4 the climax combo. That's already like
16 cards.
almost 40% of your deck right there.
Some
Like
number
we
of
said,
the Olimar bond to event card.
Yeah.
yes, because you need to have for consistency. And we haven't even chosen level 1 combo yet. That's 8 more slots. That's down. You're down to basically 22 slots, and 2 of those slots are going to be SS Drakes. 1 slot is Man at Legs. At least 1 slot is Glow Pikmin. That puts you down to 18 slots. So now you have to ask yourself how many of those slots are going to be dedicated to the Red Pikmin just to get you hand filter, and how many of those slots are going to be like actual playable cards. Like, are you going to play the other events? Are you going to play the Onion? Are you going to play the other Red Pikmin?
Correct. Like that.
you
That
know.
is the issue of this set, is trying to find space for everything.
Which is
Yeah.
wild because this is a 50-something card set, and you can say that. That is an
Correct.
achievement.
Fucking army cards and restrictions.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Beautiful.
I mean, that's kind of the point here. Is like the point of this show and this sort of channel is, yeah, evaluating cards from the lens of Bushiroad to see if they fit the math, right? But sometimes you have to just accept the fact that sometimes the Bushiroad math doesn't matter if, in the context of the set itself, that's not that powerful, you know.
Right.
A hand filter that you get to play from anywhere is not that powerful if you're having to squeeze in all these other weird texts like. And the Pikmin support cards really only work if you're playing a lot of Pikmin. And if you're playing a lot of Pikmin, you're not playing all the busted cards that the set has. You're not playing Bandit Legs, you're not playing the Snaggart, and you're not playing the Empress Ball Blacks into Bulbman, you know? So,
Well,
I guess you could in theory, but like I'm talking about like the Olimar strategy, I'm talking about the Onion strategy, I'm talking about
Right.
all those cards that support the red guys in particular, you know?
yes.
I mean, shit, the Snitch Bug is busted as hell, but how often are you actually able to fix for green at level 1? Probably not very.
Struggle is real.
No, I feel like an idiot for going off as much as I did, but like maybe this really is what it takes to get Toru to be played, is that you have to have a feasible early play condition like this. Yeah, it does. I guess it doesn't just win you the game. It's just so crazy to see that. Yeah, early play is it heals and it's your finisher all on one card. It's just so.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess how crazy is it really? I mean, fucking Aki can early play, right? And
Aki
Chainsaw
from
Man. Am I wrong about that?
The 3/2?
Yeah. Isn't there a way to
Yeah.
early play it?
No, you don't
Yeah.
play. You don't only play that one. You just play him at level 3. You play. There's another Aki that is an early play, but it's the blue one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the normal Aki is just that he gets decently big. He salvages himself
Yeah,
so
yeah, you're
that
right.
you can
You're
stick
right.
him in waiting room. And also, he has a
Something
broken a
missing
support
about
event that they should have choiced with him instead of hitting the Himeno cards because Himeno waifu is dead now. Rest in peace.
rip
Hmm.
indeed.
Well, I mean, I guess it's still
Ripping.
like decently playable, but you can't play the brainstorm and her combo and the bomb, and that was like the thing that was like, oh yeah, this deck seems like it
Yeah.
could actually do
Drop the
things
bomb.
because the bomb.
I feel like if I had seen this card first, I would have been less angry about it. No,
if it
like the
was
fact that
if it was a
it's the
double
last
R
card.
where it would have been, he would have had like the
Yeah.
appropriate reaction, but because you got jump scared, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Common jump
I-
scare.
So
Yeah.
let's think about this because I think there's
I
a
got
merit
Jump
to be
Smash
made,
Bros.
right?
Announcer, dude.
You could probably you take that to you double rare. You slide down Elf to like a rare or something. The fact is that also right now blue has like 3 double R's out of 9 cards.
Yeah, but I mean,
Least amount of cards in the set.
yes, but
That's
Highest
crazy.
value
it
from
has
them.
like 5 double R's. I'm pretty sure.
It's just that so like I started a fucking spreadsheet on this because I realized that I've been building sets in a very mechanical autopilot way, right? Every Arcanite set that I have has X number of cards, cut that into fourths, split the cards equally between them, split rarities mostly equally between them. The variance of like one color has to have 2, one color has to have 3, because like you end up with like 10 double rares in the set total on a 100 card set, something like that, right? I realized that that's not actually how Bushiroad builds their sets, so I've been working on that. My current project, which is never going to have like a decent amount of images to actually present on this channel, so I doubt that we'll actually ever see it. But that set actually has like proper ratios and shit. If you had made this a premium booster or something, where instead of double rare, rare, common, uncommon, you just had N,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of this just kind of flies out the window. Like not the rarity discussion itself as far as like the power level of the cards individually, but the complaint of like, because at that point all your level 3s are at the end and all of them are like close enough to each other. I think funnily enough it still ends up the last card in level. No, Ice Pikmin would come after it. It would end with Ice Pikmin and this would be like the second last card in the set.
To your point, my custom set is 120 cards plus a 20 card trial deck, and the trial deck is red and blue, right? So bearing in mind that the ratios are there are 29 yellow cards, 32 green cards, 36 red cards, and 43 blue cards. So it works out to be 29, 32, 26, 33 basically.
Yeah, that's roughly about a Bushiroad, like,
Yeah.
so yeah. However, like for double rares, do you happen to have like 4 of them in one color and 1 of them in another color?
So without spoiling too much, my custom set yellow is like the villain color, and it has 5 rare slots and 0 double R's.
Ah,
Green has 2 double rares and 1 double rare plus. Red has 4 double rares and 2 double rare plus, and then blue has 4 double rares and 2 double rare plus. So it's like 6, 6, and 3.
so it does exactly something like that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, as long as
But I
we're-
also, but like, my set is balanced by the fact that I actually have 36 commons, 36 uncommons, 19 rares, 10 double R's, and 5 double R plus. It's a pretty average spread of rarity among all the cards. It also means my set has a lot of chaff in it, unlike this set, which has like 56 cards where they're all good,
Oh,
they're all cool, they're all relevant, they all do something, and we don't have to be like wasting time with here's the random pants support, here's the random bar filter. Here's the random climax salvage. Here's a random card that's a drop salvage. Here's a random card that's a drop search. Because you're never going to play those because they're either going to be green cards that you're never going to use, or they're going to be army, like Pikmin cards that are bad enough that you would rather just play the army cards because they're Pikmin. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I do admire that this set is so focused in on the cards that actually matter. And I think that it's cool when custom sets can do that. But I also wish like the rarities made more sense. Just so that they were like, balanced better. But again, I'm the only person in the universe that cares about that because I'm a nerd.
I feel like the fact that you care has actually been fairly instrumental in realizing that I should be more careful about this. Because, like, God, there's definitely places where Bushiro does this exactly wrong, like Aqua, that just turn into, like, a whole, like, no one would ever think about that, like, right? But
I think Aqua's a bad example because that Hololive was the first time they printed that profile.
here's
And ever since they printed it, they've either printed it sparingly or they've printed it at rare. That card, as a vanilla, has been a rare in Bang Dream and Seven Deadly Sins and Attack on Titan.
Don't let's start.
Every time they've printed that card again, it's been a rare, right? Like they knew they messed up and they've owned it.
except that they've printed 8 more copies of it for the deck.
Yeah, that's Hololive though. We don't talk about that. I'm talking about when they brought it to other sets though. You know.
What I'm saying is, that's not the only case where they've done that. You know, obviously,
Yes.
it's a trading card game. You're going to have cases where, like, a random ass common is broken as hell. It's happened a couple of times with Hololive. It's happened across, like, the board with, like, a bunch of other sets. You know, where, like, a TD card that's like a 4/of in the TD is actually like one of the most crack cards in the entire set or something like that. These things happen, but there is actually like there's merit to carrying.
It's considered power creep as well. Like a card that was a rare in JoJo, right? I have that card as a common in my custom set because it's literally just a vanilla coin flip, and nobody is running vanilla coin flips. And also, I have a chaser in my set as a double rare. So like, I don't need to have a coin flip card, but it's another card that I can put in the set, and I have a funny art for it. So screw it, right?
Yeah, I remember when I saw that the Coron, like the Hololive someone Coronet is like a double rare, and I'm just looking at like, hold on, there's no way they print this a double rare anymore, right? But yeah,
Never know.
So final notes.
Then they'll also randomly print a card like Juggling Mio as a common, and that card's absolutely cracked. Juggling Mio, if people don't know, it's a card that says. So I'm gonna pull it up because I cannot believe this card's real. So it's during your turn, it's a global 500. When your other character on the stage is placed from hand, you get to look at the top card of your deck and then return it to its original place. And then when a climax is placed in your climax area, A1, choose specifically the gamer's event from your waiting room and add it back to your hand. That card reads like a back row card that should probably be 500 power. It is 1500 power.
Yeah, each of those effects
all
is 500.
All three of those effects are budgeted at 500 power.
Yeah.
And the card is a common.
Yeah.
What the flip?
Yeah. Because also, like...
That's Hololive.
I don't even know. I feel like you could print that a common in other sets, too. It's perfectly fine. That's about right.
I guess. It just doesn't feel like it's 3 lines of text and the card is 1500. How does that make sense? But whatever, you know.
Yeah. Alright. Final thoughts on this set. Closing remarks and things.
I'm going back and looking at some of the ratings I gave because I'm curious.
Yeah, I've been cycling back through all of them. Holomar's Whistle Call. My bad, lol.
I mean, there's a lot of really good cards in this set. This is the other frustrating thing, is like sometimes Bushiroad will put out a set, and it's like, there's like 3 cards that are really cool that are like obviously really good right away, and then the whole set will just be ass. Right? The cool thing about custom sets is you can print like 60 cards that are all insane. You just got to make sure the rarities match up and the cards are balanced correctly, right? I mean, like Avatar is a perfect example. Yes, knowing what we know now, there's a bunch of cards that are printed at common and uncommon that are pretty good. We know that the Avatar state is broken. We know that the Salami is broken, but there's not a lot of cards in that set that read like insanely cool, you know? This set has a lot of cards in it that are insanely cool. And I wish that more sets could be like this, even with the broken stuff. Like I'm going through red, and I rated like 5 cards in a row, either S+ or A. 7. Every single red event, I gave a B+ or higher, and then I also gave the red Pikmin, the Olimar, and like both the Olimars and the fiery red Pikmin S+ or A.
Yeah,
it's a good looking set. Is it so good that like it can exist in its current state? I don't know, but I'm happy it exists. And I will say also that you can tell that Volka's gotten a lot better at making these because like the refinement on these cards is so good. Like he knows when to like print profiles and when to like kind of pull back certain things. Like I said, you'll notice there are no drop searches in this set. There are no like camera events or stuff. It's all like event based because it's a distinctive design choice, you know? Like some people would just say, Oh, well, Hololive has Mio in it, so I'm gonna put Mio in my custom set because it's the best version of that profile, you know? Finn and Jake is the best choice finish they've printed, so I'm gonna put that card in my custom set. You know, like I've fallen victim to that a little bit in my custom set design, which is why I've been playtesting it for like 2 years on and off to make sure I like it, you know? I think it's so cool. And the flavor actually fits in it. And like you never would have thought this before like looking at this video, but Pikmin like slots in really well into White Shorts, and it makes me excited to see what other video game can slot into White Shorts. I've been trying to theory craft a Xenoblade White Short set for like literally years on and off, and I just don't know how to make it work so that it makes sense. There's just too many mechanics in that game. But Pikmin a game with a lot of mechanics, a lot of enemies and stuff, but you know what, it all seems to translate over really well. So
Just a matter of finding where they fit.
yeah, absolutely. That was a lot of final thoughts, but I had a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I had a lot of fun with this. So,
Look, what are your thoughts on your own custom set?
Like I probably said at some point, I always try to go for flavor before anything else. Just allows me to think up crazy, never before heard effects half the time. If we ever go over one of my other sets, you'll probably see that again. I feel like creativity helps a long way for this kind of stuff. If you can make something interesting that's fun to play, that's just what I want to try to do.
This is the first set that we've had that wasn't like hyper focused in on the bushy math side, and I've definitely conscientious of the fact that between Paru's custom corner and my own experience with the custom sets, it would be pretty easy to dial in on that being like the be all end all of the thing. When in fact, really, it's just kind of a byproduct of how we've sort of shaped our custom community. We have a group that is interested enough in the minutia and the details, that loves our spreadsheets and our little point by calculators, that is like a driving force for, like that's why I'm doing Weiss Customs, because I literally can like sit there with like a little abacus and run through and be like, all right, well, if I change this, this is equivalent to this, and I can do like this and this and this, and like I love that that's a thing you can do. If you don't focus on that, if you just say, hey, I'm gonna build like a few decks, or like a few decks worth of cards that I can play all of the cards in the pile, feel good about at least some arrangement of them, and play an IP that I really love. God forbid that we gatekeep you because you put 500 power incorrect on one of your cards. Ultimately, it's about showing people what Bushi is doing. Ideally, that would be like, that's why the math matters, and also to try to prevent give some intuition on why they don't print a 500 level 0 that gives itself 10k during your turn only. Like, you can do that. That's valid. That's math appropriate. Would they? No. Should you? God, no. Unless it's a very important funny meme. But even then, you don't print that exactly, right? Like,
but you can print a level 0 that says if it's fighting a level 3, it gains 7,500 power. Attack on Titan has that card. It's very funny.
For the meme, the math is there. The math is there to help, to guide. If you don't worry about the math and you just use game sense, and you have enough game sense, because if I had tried to do this without like my very earliest drafts of like custom cards, yeah, no, that wasn't. I needed the math as like a structure, because otherwise it was just gonna be piles of effects, like too many effects on cards to be like both viable and actually like fun to play against as like the opponent. Volk has been at this more than long enough to know how to like balance that shit, and I'm sure that there are other custom card creators in our community that have that level of experience and don't need the math to like strictly tell them what to do to make a card balanced. But for those of us who need the help, we have the guidelines. The math is there to check. And if you don't need to worry about that, good for you. Congratulations on being like clever enough. And I think Volk is clever enough. This set kicks ass.
Thank you.
The goofy shit is goofy as hell. Olimar is a goofy guy. Pikmin is a goofy property. So it makes sense that you have like, you dial it in on like a couple of very wild ass directions that you don't see like the package style in Weiss in this way, right? Like, you have, like, the general shape, maybe. You have, like, the event-focused deck that just wants a pile of events in memory. You have, like, the level 1 card that cheats out a level 2 that, you know, your game plan is entirely revolving around at some point. But you wouldn't see it like this. And the fact that it ends up, like, maybe not perfectly balanced from a gameplay perspective, but balanced enough that you can be like, play this and not be like instantly like kicked out of an Arby's parking lot. I feel like actually no, the inverse. The Arby's parking lot would probably kick you out anyway, because why are you playing White Sports in a parking lot? That's weird. Yeah, that's enough final thoughts, because I can tell my brain's spinning. Some notes at the
I did have one
end.
more final thought. I went back and looked at my ratings for all these, and I gave like 6 cards S rating or higher. I think that's probably a bit high for like a custom set to have that many cards that are just absolutely insane. But also, like, it's way more fun to have more cards that are S plus or insane, you know? Like, it just gives you more ideas to brew with. And I think also, like, I gave the New Day event an S. I don't know if it's really an S. It's probably like an A or a B. And I gave the President an S because I think that he's 100% flavor. It's so good. In context of the set, I don't think you ever actually find space for this card. I just thought it was so good. And it's just such a flavor success. But, like, oh god, it's so cool. Remember how hyped I was about Rock Pikmin? And then we saw Empress Ball Blacks. Like,
Yeah.
this set's been a roller coaster and a half, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, closing messages. Discord links to the customs, to I think I probably have a few more Discords I could properly link in there anyway. But yeah, at least the custom one and mine, which exists. I don't use it terribly often personally because I'm in like 4 other Discords for customs, but it announces like streams and stuff. That's useful, and also set files if we end up coding this one together and making it playable across the board in Sims. Guaranteed that at some point Gadget will be back to talk about more customs. His sets, my sets, more Volk sets to get Volk back in for more of these 3-man casts.
Yeah.
Because
You gotta
it's
find
nice to be
somebody
able to hang
else's
with these
brand
guys.
is right, like mine. Get that set review going.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll see more of these guys for sure. And if you have sets that you haven't reviewed, I'm on Discord. Find me. Talk to me. The requirements for these things. There's a distinction between what I can do for just a review and what I can do for review and coding. There are requirements for the cards themselves that need to be met to actually put into the program. I actually have Volk's set file, so that's what how I did the revamps on the text. If you aren't confident in that, go into your Magic Set Editor, hit the HTML export, and grab that picture file and send it as like a drive link or something. It needs to be JPEGs, not PNGs, because PNGs do not work with the system. I don't know why, it just doesn't acknowledge them. Important information. With that said, any plugs or anything for the ending of boys?
I ain't got nothing.
Gadgetman X on Discord, Gadgetman914 on Reddit. If you want to reach out. I don't think I have anything else. I have many things, but I don't want to keep this going any longer. I just appreciate everybody who tuned in and sub to Jay Puffin and watch the Don't Hug Me I'm Scared set review also. That's what I'm going to do as soon as we're done here probably. Because I'm hyped. I want to see what that set's like, honestly.
Yeah, if you're alright with this, Volk, I can start coding up this. Probably get it done in like a stream or 2.
For
Alright, so that'll be what I'll be doing for the next few days. After I'll edit this together. It'll get uploaded, and then I'll do that. So give it like a week or 2, and we'll have a playable version of this, and we can see just how insane this can get. Until then, I have been G3. These have been my buddies. It's been a good time. Bye-bye.